Hello and welcome back to building a space elevator again. So in today's episode, we refined the ship a little bit more to find some ore, more resources. And of course, we built out a bit of a camera tower. All right, so first things first, what we did today in the time lapse, kind of ran out of time in terms of the build. I really did want to finish that over there, but I didn't get a chance to. So we'll continue building that out sooner or later. But for now, the main aspect of today's time-lapse video was building out and finishing off the ore detecting ship right here. As you see here, the ore detector. We added a little bit more of atmosphere thrusters, as you see here. So 3 going forward, more vertically. And then we have a bit of a horizontal version of it in the front. For backwards, we changed up the 3 thrusters going upwards right over there. And then we added the side ones, which we already did before. But that's pretty much what we added, with the exception of the solar panels to get some more energy into this bad boy here. And that just made it look even better by creating kind of like these wingtips, like a bat looking like thing. So basically, if I flipped it over this way and shine the light in it, we might even get a bat signal out of it. But yeah, this was a nice little hefty thing to build, to find some more resources, especially like silver and gold. Although gold we already have right over here. Right next to our iron, you can see the gold. Once we get a little bit closer, right there. So we got gold. We found some silver deposits out there somewhere. I may or may not have marked it for some reason. Looks like I didn't mark it, but I got some silver, brought it back, and I did get some gold as well, I believe, which should be perfect because that's all we really need in terms of the space elevator build with the hover engines. So platinum, as I was quite wrong, platinum, of course, you can't get platinum in a Earth-like planet, or any planets, to be honest. So that is something we're gonna have to wait for if we ever fly into space, because we get platinum from asteroids and also moons. So that is gonna be a later thing if we ever do need platinum. I don't really see that we do need platinum, except for ion thrusting. I don't think we need ion thrusting for the space elevator, because we're gonna focus on hydro thrusters instead. But of course, we will run out of hydrogen thrust, so I don't know. We could do a combination atmosphere thrust and ion thrust, but of course we need platinum for the ion thrusting aspect of it. So that's the only problem we might have, but we can always go ahead and try to look for platinum outside of the Earth-like planet. So right now you'll see, I think we have some silver. Yep, we have silver, very little gold. Yeah, looks like we have very little gold because we were creating like gravity components and things like that. And of course, our hover engines just really needs gravity components. So nothing with platinum in this case. And of course, I upgraded my tools to tier 2. As you see here, proficient. As you see here, with some proficient hand drills, grinders, and welders. But of course, we can't get to the next stage of the tier 3s because that requires the elusive platinum. But we will find a way to get platinum one way or another, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. So we've got our resources worked out for the most part. We could pretty much start building the elevator very shortly. I was hoping for the next episode. I might still be able to do it, but I really need to finish off this tower here. So this tower here is basically our camera control station for our camera person. Do we need this? Absolutely not. I just thought it'd be fun to build so we can have it. So it is likely and should be airtight eventually. Right now it has a bit of a hole in the wall, but these will be windows or some kind of window. I'm thinking something like these windows here, but haven't decided. And I want to make a ladder going upwards, although we probably don't need a ladder because we're just going to fly up. And I might change this up a little bit as well, because right now we have a rotor down here connected to those half slope blocks. And it's connected all into this piece right here with that rotor. The rotor into a block, into a helm, and then ties into this antenna. And the reason for that is basically, let me just kick that person out. It's basically when we do a control or custom turret controller, we can spin the whole entire platform, as you see there. All right, that just threw everything off. And then we can move the antenna just for design purposes. And didn't really think it through exactly, because although we could spin it around like this for no apparent reason within the helm, I mean, it helps to remote into certain things. We could remote into our rover, which I put a remote control on it. Right here's the respawn planet pod, so we can control it and actually view it off the camera, which was in the time lapse shortly. But here you'll see we have a camera view right over here, and it's on top of the cockpit. And of course I have the camera panning mod, so that's why we can do all this zooming and maneuvering, things like that. So once again, this is basically the camera control station. I was hoping to make it airtight, although it doesn't really need to be. I might have to rethink this if I am going to go airtight. You don't necessarily need the antenna to spin with the helm, although we could potentially just do it that way by making the whole entire platform right over here spin. Possibility. Or just leave the antenna spinning. Either one works fine. We shouldn't really worry about it too much. I don't know, there's a few things to think about here, but the main point of this was being on the helm, and then that way we could control many different cameras. Camera 1 would be right here, which is basically on the tower, right underneath the window, so we have a nice view over here to see anything within the base, and a little bit of zooming into our drilling base. And then we have camera 2, which is slightly lower, or part of the turbine tower. And it has limited viewing, but at least you can see any evolutions or changes into the base also, but a little bit closer. And lastly, of course, what I mentioned before, we can remote access into our respawn pod, so we can have a different view here as well. And because it's remote controlled, we have a mobile camera right over here too. Is there a real point to all this? Not really. I just want to get new or different camera angles and viewpoints for the time lapse. Although right now I only have limited to 3 camera views. A lot more to come. I have to create some more towers or more spaces to put cameras in. So it could be right over here, somewhere around there. It could be a camera, or maybe revive that ship over there to do another camera view with a remote control right here. Or we could make smaller drones as well, and they could make it follow and all that stuff. So something I was just playing around with before we get really set on doing this space elevator. Of course, that's always gonna be the deal, because I want to do some new things at the same time as doing something we've kind of done before as well. So trying to change it up a little bit just to make it more interesting. But pretty much that is the main bulk of what we've done so far. We haven't really touched anything in the inside, I believe. Everything's still kind of the same. But of course, we did some gravity components, so we could actually build a aquarium in here if we want to do. But I think that's going to wait for a little bit longer. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.